Hello, everyone. Ever wonder why people believe in God? I mean, like, what are the reasons? I'm going to give you 5 good reasons to believe in God today. Now, just so you know, I'm not promoting any particular religion or any specific belief system. I'm just putting this out there, and if you find value in it, you can pick it up, and if not, you can move along. This is a channel about exploring the idea of a divine presence and of the mysteries and awe all around us, and of ultimately coming to God because of it. My belief is that most folks will come to God in their own time. If any of this interests you, then stick around to the end when I'll give you the most compelling reason to believe in God. Now, I used to be an atheist, but as my atheism began to fall away, I started to think of God as more than, as just a sort of term used for universal energy, a sort of shorthand for explaining things that are so big that words fail to capture it fully. Back then, I thought of God as an all-encompassing force that binds everything together, a sort of network of power behind it all. And so in that worldview, it could be seen more akin to a term like Mother Nature, sort of a force that governs all of the universe. And this is my alternative way of thinking about God, not as a person so much, which I found hard to grasp, but more of a diffuse universal force that transcends all things. But over time, I drifted away from that and began to see that there seemed to be more going on than just a natural force could explain. So there had to be some sort of intelligence behind the universe. So that's the first reason to believe. And that would be that things are just too complex to consider that there must have been some sort of intelligence behind it all. And because when you really look deeply into things using science to light your path, you see so much great complexity that it makes more sense to believe that there is a God than it does to think that it all just sort of fell together after a series of random events. I did put out a recent video about scientists that had came to this very conclusion after decades of being atheists. And some of them had even set out to prove that atheism was correct, but they couldn't do it. Now, the second reason to believe is that there really are miracles, well-documented miracles. And I see miracles as evidence of God's existence. Now, these could be instances of divine intervention during times of crisis or moments of profound spiritual connection. It doesn't take long on the internet to find many examples of such miracles. But perhaps one of the hardest to explain away because it is the one I'm going to talk about because it was witnessed by so many people. It's called the miracle of the sun. It's also called the miracle of Fatima. It began when 3 young children claimed to have been visited by the Virgin Mary, who spoke to them multiple times between May and October of 1917 in a town called Fatima in Portugal. Word got out, of course, and people started coming to see the children when they had these events, and the children would fall into a trance, which is quite curious. Now, this ultimately culminated in a huge crowd of 30,000 to 100,000 people in October 13th of 1917. They said the sun began to behave in strange ways. It had been pouring rain. They were soaking wet. But when the rain stopped and the sun came out, they reported that their clothes dried almost instantaneously. According to numerous eyewitness accounts, the sun appeared as an opaque disk. It was spinning in the sky. It was said to have radiated various colors, moved closer to them, like closer to the earth, and in a zigzag pattern before it finally returned to its normal position. I think that as I build up my channel, I'll start reporting on other miracles as well as one of the foundations of belief in God. So if you're interested, please be sure to subscribe. I'll build up various playlists, so you can stop in and check out a particular topic in a particular playlist. The third reason to believe is that there are many people who have had direct experiences with God. These are firsthand reports of personal encounters that were incredibly powerful and profound for those who've had them. It doesn't take much of a deep dive on the internet to find all kinds of first-person narratives of people that have had some kind of experience with God. I'm talking quite a broad group of people too, from addicts and alcoholics who turn their lives around completely to people who've lost all hope and were at the end of their rope but found a lifeline in God. I just have to ask, can atheism do any of that for you? Has atheism ever turned around the life of an addict or an alcoholic or a person who has lost all hope? So the transformative nature of belief would be our third reason. And if you're in desperate straits right now for whatever reason, wouldn't it be worth believing in God if it could transform your life? The fourth and related reason to number 3 is unexplained feelings. I'm just going to talk about 2 right now, but again, I think I'll build out videos in playlists profiling individual cases, or I may put them in groups. I don't know yet. But for now, let's talk about the first case, which was Colleen Willard. She had suffered from a variety of serious ailments, including a brain tumor, hydrocephalus, and fibromyalgia. In 2003, she visited the Marian Shrine in Bosnia. Marian Shrine is a shrine to the Virgin Mary. After her visit to the shrine, her symptoms began to improve dramatically and were confirmed with medical tests, including brain scans that showed a significant improvement on unexplained changes, including the disappearance of her brain tumor. So her doctors were actually able to confirm this healing with modern scientific techniques like PET scans and MRIs. The second case I'm going to explain of unexplained feelings occurred long ago in 1912 and was documented by a Dr. Alexis Carrel, a French surgeon and biologist who won the Nobel Prize in Medicine in 1912. Now, this guy is no country bumpkin doctor with limited sophistication. He's a smart guy. And in 1902, Carrel observed the case of Marie Bailey, a woman suffering from tuberculosis peritonitis, a severe abdominal condition. According to Dr. Carrel, Marie showed significant and rapid improvement after visiting the baths at Lourdes, a place known for miraculous healing. And he couldn't explain her cure by any medical science at the time. He witnessed and documented her remarkable healing, and was so affected by it that it changed how he thought about things. He had initially been a great skeptic, and he was so affected by this experience that it influenced his views on faith and medicine for the rest of his life. Isn't that something? So finally, and somewhat fittingly, I'd say the last and best reason, and it's tied to our own final last breath. And it's no small thing. Belief in God means that you will see your loved ones again. Now, when I was an atheist, any death just gutted me, for the most part because of the finality of it. I was never going to see them again. It was over. I was really kind of envious of those who could believe that they would see their loved ones again. It clearly provided them a solace that my atheism could not and never would. I still struggle with death, but most people who believe in God do find comfort in the idea of an afterlife or an eternal life with God. And nearly as importantly, the fact that they would be with all their loved ones who passed on before them. The concept of an infinite life beyond this present one can be really reassuring to you if you're facing challenges or if you're struggling with your own mortality. And let's face it, it's getting closer for all of us. Certainly, atheism is of no help in this regard. Well, I hope you got something out of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to see more videos discussing this topic of coming to God, finding God, please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more engaging discussions like this one. Until next time, keep exploring your worldview. It's a journey worth taking. And if you have any comments or would like to add anything to the discussion, please feel free to do so in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you've experienced in life. I'll respond to as many as I possibly can. Thank you. Until we chat again. Good night and have a great tomorrow.